John, where do you want to start?
The British Open. And boy, was that something. I mean, Scottie Scheffler was just the master of the universe.
Hey, mate, that was pretty good golf, wasn't it? Hey, mate, is this guy equal to Tiger Woods? Because that's all anybody globally is talking about. Scottie Scheffler just put together a dazzling 4 days at the British Open. He beat the 156-man field. He beat the weatherman. He beat the Royal course. He beat the pothole bunkers. He beat the 5 feet deep rough. He beat the swales. He built the tilted greens. He beat the wind off the Irish Sea. I mean, it was a tremendous performance. You know, on Friday, he had 8 birdies. On Saturday, when the weather was rugged, he had an eagle and a birdie. And then on Sunday, he just roared and built a 7-stroke lead, and they just never, ever caught him. Get this. He went 32 straight holes without a bogey. And this is on the bleeping British Open golf course, which is the next to impossible. 32 holes without a bogey, and over a 62-hole window, he had 1 bogey and 1 double bogey. And as one of the players said last night after the conclusion of the final round in Ireland, when you saw his name at the top of the leaderboard, your heart goes away because you know you're not going to catch him because he does not make mistakes. So he's got 4 Grand Slam wins. He's got 20 wins already in his career, and he's only 28 years of age. Now, it's still a far cry from Tiger. Tiger had 15 Grand Slams. Tiger had 85 career victories. These guys are so polar opposite in the way they play golf. Steady as she goes. There's no emotional high. There's no emotional low. There's no tantrums. There's no expression of emotion with Scottie Scheffler. Tiger was relentless. Tiger was a pusher. Tiger was attack mode all the time. And Tiger's lifestyle was so radically different than Scottie Scheffler. Tiger was all about the salesmanship and money and the flair and his women. Scottie Scheffler, the ideal picture of Scottie Scheffler was on the 18th green after it was over. And he had his wife, his baby, and the claret jug. And he was ready to go home to Texas because that's who he is. They are so polar opposite in terms of style on the course and in terms of personality and the way they do business. Scheffler's really become a champion. And, you know, we've had some really great golfers of late, aside from Tiger. You know, Phil Mickelson was the fans' man. You know, Phil Mickelson would look at the fans and shake his head and said, I'm such an idiot when he hit one that go off course and go into the tent. And Rory McIlroy is just a grinder. Scheffler is so different in his approach. Stability. There's a comfort zone around him. Laser focused. He's just a really different guy. I just thought it was just a phenomenal tournament. One of the golfers said, when Scheffler gets into his game, it's like he goes into blackout mode. You can't communicate with him. All he is focused on is where he's hitting the ball, what is next, and there's no tantrums. There's no conversation with anybody aside from his caddy, and that's limited conversation. And one of the other golfers, aside from the one that said, you look at the top of the leaderboard, takes your heart away, and aside from the one said that he's always in blackout mode, another golfer said, the only words that golfers look when they're on the course, look at that leaderboard, and they see where Scheffler is bloody hell. That's an old Irish term. My God, bloody hell. So he's great. He's absolutely phenomenal. And so he's got 4 Grand Slams, 20 victories already in his pocket under the age of 28. I just love watching it. And of course, I love everything, the panorama, the skyline shots, the course shots. I mean, links golf is so different than anything we experience here in the U.S. It's surely not the Masters and the beauty of the azaleas and the magnolias and all that at Augusta. And it's obviously not the U.S. Open, which is an obstacle course, not a golf course. But there is just a different feel about everything as it relates to the British Open. Mate, we should go have a pint and toast Scottie Scheffler. I had a lot of fun watching it in different chunks of time. And John Riley says,
Scottie was giving it all she's got, man. Beam me up, Scottie. It's cool to see a dominant player or a dominant team in a sport just kick ass and take care of business. And you got to appreciate that with him. And to your point, yeah, you see him at the top of the leaderboard. He's ahead by 4 or 5 strokes. You're figuring game over. Let's pack it up and go.
They were on the third hole yesterday on Sunday. Third hole in the final round. He was 7 shots up.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
It's over.
Yeah, it is. And he had that huge surge on Friday. He really rose up to the top. So you got to give it up to the guy. But it is interesting how, Live Golf has, poached all the really high-end golfers out of PGA, but Scheffler just sticks with PGA. I wonder why he's never made the leap over.
Well, he's only gotten hot within the last year and a half where he's gotten dominant. And I think also we've seen those guys who went to LIV have disappeared off the radar.
Totally.
Nobody knows where the tournaments are. Nobody's going to the tournaments. Even their own people like Bryson DeChambeau said that LIV is now really behind the curve of where they thought they would be in terms of development and evolvement. And most of the guys aren't playing really well on the PGA Tour when they come play in the major events that they're still qualified for. So Scheffler he's different. So you're a golf fan. You enjoy it. Fans Forum chat box is open. It's a little too early to say he's going to be as great as Tiger because Tiger was great. But boy, respect the golfer and respect the person that the golfer represents. Okay, we go from that. Next topic on the table. Hold on to the table, John.